zone. Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let.
Well, welcome back to Crown's Keto Cave, coming at you from a different camera today, or this one riding over here, back from some beef buffets as well. Absolutely loved it, feel a lot more refreshed, and ready for the day's worth of action, and of which we have plenty to talk about today. I mean, not only do we have the short and medium term timeframes going on, but it's once again to be reminded of the higher term timeframes. We did hit kind of the same sort of local top that we were looking for yesterday, and now the downside comes in. So is this just a pullback, bro? Is this just a pull out, bro? Or are we about to see an actual reversal here? Well, reversal on the lower term time frames, of course. Higher term time frames been bearish as fuck the whole way through. And with that said, I do want to remind myself to talk about the Crown Trading app, which is coming out probably in the next week and a half or so. It's going to be 100% free for the base functionality of it. Going to be available to all devices, all platforms, all whatever the fuck, as long as it's not like legitimate alien technology. It'll be there for you. And with that said, of course, the subscriptions for the indicators have actually been brought back. The link is in the description below. That is for the stochastics, the RSI, Fibonacci, and of course the Joule as well. So cool. Anyways, what else we got? Well, I think that's about it. Hey, I'd like to wish you the best and the happiest of the happiest. Man, I'm feeling refreshed this morning. This feels great. Anyways, with that said, I'm going to pour this into the live scene. So let me press that button and I will see you in there, my friends. And there she is. Wait, what? What could this be? This is GBDC, and that rhymes, so you know it's true. Anyways, I love it when people say something and they're like trying to make a valid point, and then it'll rhyme, and they'll be like, and that's why. It's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Anyways, yeah, GBDC once again showing the way to the downside. The dark side over here, getting rejected by the 200 simple, this white moving average, and more importantly, maintaining the long-term downtrend, which is not only present on GBDC, but also present on spot and CMEs as well. But I do think that it's most appropriate to be shown right on over here, because this one has once again shown that initial move. And yes, we did print a massive bearish engulfing dildo as it stands on the daily. And if you're a gap boy, then I would say that this gap is more or less filled right here. And basically what we're looking for coming into today, getting a little bit more serious right here, I would say that I'd be looking for any sort of a takeout of yesterday's low at 914 spot 18. The reason being is because if we do start to take out that low, this is going to start to look a lot more like a confirmed reversal. However, technically don't want to, well, technically not a reversal at all, because we're quite literally still in a downtrend here. On the lower term timeframes, yes, it would be, and we'd be looking at continuation on the higher term timeframes, of course. Anyways, that not necessarily not going to get it 100% done, but it would be the first big warning signal. I'd say any sort of a daily dollar close, especially below about 890-ish region, is where this thing really starts to look atrocious once again. I mean, it's been looking atrocious the whole way through, but you know, the same sort of area getting a stop for the last 6 months. Still working its way, and of course we see the exact same thing on spot price action right here. In fact, so Bitcoin, you know, pretty much hit our blue box targeted area. I was looking for maybe another try a little bit higher, but that's why I do say that the lower term time frame suggesting that we do pull back in this region overall, and we're getting that pullback right now. The question is once again, is this just a pullback? And as you can see, that we do have a stark contrast between this chart and GBDC chart. So what I would say at the end of the day, you know, you have to trade the charts that's in front of you, but GBDC would be saying that we are in legitimate danger of continuation on the on the weekly trend, essentially. And the trend is your friend until the end of the trend, and may the trend be with you as well. But here's the thing. I would say that as it stands right now, I'd actually be a little bit more neutral than anything. I think it's kind of the popular, everyone's looking at this falling channel. You know, it's no secret right now. Everyone's got it drawn on their charts. You hear everyone parroting around, good old crypto Twitter, good old crypto YouTube, good old crypto Reddit, whatever the fuck it is. And so that area likely to get respected. But what does it mean for Bitcoin price action? Well, I would say that as long as we essentially maintain this 78.50-ish level on a daily dollar closure, I do think that I do think that we actually might get reaccumulated here on the lower term timeframes, and then continue up to once again test into this mid to low $8,000 region. So of course, at the end of the day, I want to be very, very specific in stating this. The trend has not changed, even with this, like, what was it, like almost a $2,000 move to the upside from our $6,500 low right here to about $8,500 high right here. We're still in a downtrend on the weekly, and that's what matters most for the macro on Bitcoin. Any reversal that we've ever had on the weekly has basically led to those astronomical gains each and every time in Bitcoin's history. That got you this long right here from 4,000 to 14. It got you this short right here from 16,000 to 3,100, and going all the way back to the Genesis. It's quite literally gotten all the big moves. Not going to get you the exact low, not going to get you the exact high, but don't need to get those points when we're talking about hundreds of percents and to the upside. I mean, like in some cases thousands of percents. It's pretty fucking crazy, man. Anyways, as it stands right now, on the weekly, we are nowhere near reversing the trend, as I've been saying for a while. And this is why I've been exercising caution within this region. This is why we were looking for a pullback in that blue box territory coming in from yesterday. Now, I couldn't have told you how far the pullback was going to be. The pullback is now going to be insightful into whether we actually are ready to give a legitimate push to potentially reverse the trend, or if this is just another lower high. So we'll get into that in just a second, but I do want to, flesh out this topic a little bit more, because I just think it's so damn important, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, but trading can quite literally be this easy. I fucking hate that I even have to say, I hate that I even use those words easy, but it's just, it requires patience, if you're looking for those long-term trends. So at the end of the day, until we actually switch around the weekly trend, we need to make a higher high and a higher low. And in this case right here, we ain't making higher highs till we get back above 9,500. So as always, that's in the background periphery. For Bitcoin, we technically ain't bullish on a weekly trend until we get back above that region on a weekly dildo closing basis. But now let's go down to the lower term timeframes, as I just alluded to. And right now, we are getting a pretty decent pullback here. I would say that I could, if you want to be bullish in this region, I do think that you can make an excuse for Bitcoin as long as we're above about 7,500ish, or sorry, not 7,500, 7,750ish area is that critical point where the lower time frames really start to break down and starts to look like we'd be confirming yet again another lower high right here, and on the macro, and probably coming back down to the low 7,000. So that's kind of like the line in the sand for me. But on the lower term timeframes, I do think that this would be a nice pivot within this region. We can make a nice little liquid zone coming in from our highs in late November, and also kind of like our last little breakout in this region right here. So as long as Bitcoin is above there, I do think that the lower timeframes still, you can still make an excuse for them saying that hey, that it might get reaccumulated, and we'll probably see another push higher. And we're actually seeing the lower term timeframes start to really really come down a bit. They are kind of cooling off the momentum oscillators, albeit in a very aggressive way. And I'm going to represent both sides here and then kind of give my opinion at the end. But looking at 4-hour Stokes, we are coming down already at the halfway mark. We see 3-hour Stokes coming down there as well. 2-hour Stokes already way down there. Hourly Stokes probably turning and giving us some divergence plays as well. Indeed, yes, we do. We have a little bit of bullish divergence on the hourly. What about the bi-hourly? Nope, it's not going to be present. So what's Bitcoin most likely to do here? I think it's likely to kind of flesh out this area a little bit more. I do think that we probably get another press downwards, maybe like 7,800 or 7,750-ish region, and then I'd probably be looking for a bounce there, because around that time we should be seeing all the lower term time frames start to really get a little bit exhausted in that region. So regardless of whether you're bearish or bullish, I probably would be looking for a bounce within that region. Of course, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not because that trade's like 100% guaranteed to work out. Even though over the last couple weeks, there's been a lot of good trades that that we've been talking about here. I want to remind myself to say, hey, I ain't a fucking perfect trader. So if you're looking at those as like, oh shit, Crown said this, it's like that's not the right way to be thinking. I will make mistakes, and technical analysis isn't perfect to begin with. It's just offering us a statistical edge to base trades off of. That's a value within it. So there's never going to be 100% trade, of course. But if I did have to if I was looking at areas somewhere around like 7,800 to 7,750 is kind of where I'd be looking for on this region, and from there I would be looking for a little bit of a bounce, and then that's at the point where we just have to reassess we just have to assess the bounce as it comes, and probably we get some price action coming around when New York Stock Exchange opens in, I don't know, what is it, about another 6 or so, no, 5 or 6 hours, whatever the fuck it is. Anyways, we'll probably be on Twitch by that time. By the way, forgot to talk about Twitch. Hey, probably definitely going to be doing a live stream on Twitch later today. Link is in the description below. It's been a lot of fun. Bitcoin analysis not necessarily at the forefront of it, but we certainly do talk about it, in between matches and whatnot, as it's a gaming platform, and do a little bit of live trading there as well. It's just, it's just fun community. So everyone's welcome to come on in. Of course, as long as you aren't a fucking dickhead, but even then, that's what we have mods for, man. It's no problem. So yeah, looking at this right here, it is looking to me like the lower term time frame, especially the 2 hours, really started to redline historical volatility percentile. So that does tell me that we're probably nearing a bouncy bounce territory on the lower term time frames. Hourly is already contracting actually after that. So, we hit a little bit of a climax on that last, on that last push around 7,900, or how low did we get here? 7,850 maybe? Oh yeah, 78.72 actually. So basically 78.50. That's close enough for me. So I do think that we're kind of nearing a bouncy bounce territory essentially, and usually those lower time frames get it pretty damn well for the short term consolidations and whatnot. So to kind of wrap that up, do you think that we get another push lower, probably 78, maybe 77.50, and then I'd look for probably a bounce attempt to there. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And again, the reason why that's the reason why I kind of like that area is just because you're going to find out very, very quickly if that's going to work out or not. We do see that historically 7750 big area right here. So if Bitcoin did break back down below it, that would be problem city, and time to take the loss and probably target a move all the way back down here towards 7500ish region. So that's what I'd be looking for right now. It does look to me like hold on. What was I just about to say? Okay, it's a 3 hour. Let's go over here to the 12 hour. It does look to me like Bitcoin's going to try to formulate a base right here. I don't think the upside is all said and done just yet, but it is looking nastier and nastier, to be fair. Any sort of a 12-hour dildo close below 77.50, and I think that's an obvious one as well. And we're going to be having that close in the next 3 hours and 30 minutes to the dot. And actually, when I was looking around the altcoin sphere earlier this morning, it did look like most of them are looking like lower highs actually. 12-hour Stoics turning down as well. I'd say this is certainly more on the bearish side. It's blindly trading this one has been pretty much right the whole way through for the last over a year of a price action now. And this one coming down from this area, as Bitcoin essentially approaches a macro area and backs off there, it makes me think that we actually probably do put in a high here. So again, for me getting bullish, I really need to see either daily dildos opening and closing above this descending trend line that's been holding us back all the way since $14,000 high in June of the past year of 2019. And then more importantly, really a weekly close above 9,500 to actually complete the uptrend. That's when it's, that's when it's like bull horns time, for myself. That's when I start to get really excited. So, as we've been saying for the last week, while Bitcoin is bullish in the short and medium term timeframes, it's not necessarily time to get excited just yet until those major areas are hit. Now, I do think that, a pullback like this is certainly within the realm of reason, coming off that high. Just based off the fact that we've been following this for the last 6 months. But what happens next around this next level is going to be pretty damn critical to kind of deciding this. Higher time frame, the higher time frame that we go, the less and less kind of certain that I actually am on this one. Looking at the 2-day, I really like the 2-day close. Actually, we did close above 8,000, and this would align with us probably coming back down and testing around 7750, around the 200 exponential moving average. But I'm not really bearish on this. As long as we're above 7750ish region on a 2-day dildo closure essentially. 2-day Stokes still headed upwards and onwards. 2-day RSI is potentially are we going to be making? No, we're not making hidden bearish divergence. Or sorry, yes, we could be. We could very easily be making a hidden bearish divergence. Now, if we do confirm this as a local high, and here's where I can really put my foot down on this analysis. Now that we've kind of fleshed out the lower term timeframes and the medium term timeframes, the 2 days the one that's going to tell all most likely. If we do confirm a local high here, which would essentially mean that as long as if we were to break this purple 200 exponential moving average to the downside, then that's at the point when this is going to be hidden bearish divergence confirmed, and compared to what we were doing over here a couple months before. And I'd be looking for a move all the way back down at the very least to like 7,500, but realistically, probably back down to like $7,000 even, maybe even 6,900 down around here. And then, you have to be thinking, okay, well, we're once again on that precipice of 6,900. Shit, man, even like closing below 7,100 would probably make me look for that next major leg down. But 6,900 is the last line in the sand as far as the bulls go. So yeah, until Bitcoin actually does that though, I do think that you can make excuses for it. I do think that we're actually kind of likely to test down to that region. In fact, looking at expected moves with regards to historical volatility percentile does tell us that, hold on, we need to put this down to 1 day. There we go. does tell us, oh, what do you fucking know, man? It's lovely when this agrees. We do see that the bottom side of the first standard deviation is coming in right around 7750-ish regions. So, still holding the line essentially there, not really doing anything out of the ordinary, and, would be within the 68% chance likely to happen. So, I would certainly stick with that. I do like that as an overall read. We still do have the semi-continuation signal on the Joule. I think the daily had a better signal right on over here. For the people with a Joule, I know that one of the things that some people who are newer to it can kind of come on to will say, like, once a Joule gives a signal, it's most of the move's already been done. No, you're taking a daily signal and then you're looking at it on a fucking hourly and judging it from there. What you really need to be doing is you need to look at a daily signal and then look at a fucking daily if you're going to trade a daily. So even if you did catch the signal 2 days fucking later on this one, this is what you're looking at here. Still 15% to the upside. And, is this likely to get a little bit more? It does look like it's okay still. We do still see daily Stokes to the upside, but man, you can see a trend line forming here. As we kind of once again lose a little bit of that momentum, and then 12-hour Stokes turning down. I really don't like that. But is a 12-hour Stokes turning down just going to be a retest back down to like 7750-ish region, and then we bounce from there, or is it or is it going to give us momentum to actually break that region on a time frame that matters, i.e. 12-hour or above? That's the real question for me right now. So to be 100% clear and 100% transparent, I'm not trading this right now. I don't have the reads that I'm looking for, and the easy trades were already had. The long in this area right on over here, 7500 breakout, then 7750 breakout right here, and then targeting these two areas in this region from the descending Brawny wedge that we had, I don't know, about a week and a half ago, or whatever the fuck it was. So yes, right now for me is the time to wait. And I always get these questions, like anytime I'm doing a live stream or something, like, Crown, are you long or short right now? And that's not the right way to be thinking, because I'm not always in a position. What I think those people think trading is, and this is what I thought trading was when I first began, or before I was even really beginning, but just just as an intuitive idea, it's like you're always in a trade and you're just doing little math equations and you always know what to do and where to enter in, and you just as soon as you get to the computer, you're entering into a trade. That's bullshit. More often than not, I'm waiting, and I won't trade until I actually have an edge. And right now, I don't feel like I have an edge. I did take a little bit of a scalp play off of 7850 last night. I took a scalp play off of 8400 last night as well, to the downside, and that's really all I've been doing in the last day. And that's pretty much what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. I will look for a pullback in this region at 8500. We didn't necessarily get exactly to 8500. We got 8450, but that's close enough for me. Anyways, what else do we want to talk about? Let's go over to the 3-day. Let's go over to the 3-day for a second. 3-day Stokes still headed up, but going to be coming up to that same area that we've actually gotten or that we got rejected from the last major try, which was funnily enough on this major move up here in late October, that $3,000 Chinese move up, right? We also do see that 3-day RSI, kind of same sort of thing. We do see that resistance in this region. We haven't been able to get above it since September breakdown, essentially from this last major high at 10.6. Also got this high right here, and perhaps this high as well, all in line with this downwards trend line, and that is problematic, of course. So I don't think that it's appropriate to really call it right now. I'd feel a lot more comfortable calling it on a 2-day schedule if we do, or even if we if we take out last 2-day low, does that confirm this as a local high? It doesn't necessarily really need to close below this area. It's going to look bad if we do take out the low of it, which is 7,700, but I'm not so convinced on that just yet. I'd really need to see a closure below there. This would confirm that as a local high, and then I'd look for a move down somewhere between about 7,150 to 6,950-ish region. Another $200 range down there. But for right now, Bitcoin's a little bit in limbo, and realistically, the next big things to be watching are the next 2-day close and weekly as well. If we could get the weekly close above the 21 exponential moving average, this yellow moving average right here, which is still within striking distance, seeing as the weekly close is Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, at 8150-ish region, then I would probably, I'd probably put the probabilities of us actually, breaking out to the upside. Right now, speaking of probabilities, they are certainly not on a breakout to the upside. In fact, after a rejection like this, you can see all of these guys are curling down once again. So I do think that we test lower before anything else, and then the fun will begin. So yeah, what else do we want to look at? Let's go look at CMEs for a second here. We do see that CMEs have a very clear and obvious rejection of the 200 simple right here. But again, same thing here. While we do potentially have hidden bearish divergence in play between these October highs and where we are right now, I need to see this confirmed as a local high. And if we take out the bottom side of this dildo at 79.15, I do think that would certainly do some damage, but I really need to see it close below there. I want to see continuation, like very, very obviously stated. But hey, as it stands right now, not looking too hot. And of course, we did test the overall downtrend coming in from, again, the $14,000 high more than 6 months ago now, which is in line with the 200 simple. And if we do find another high here, like I said, I would be looking for a move back down to around 7400-ish region, and then probably continuation after that. Let's see, we're going to see the weekly for CMEs close tomorrow, so we should get some pretty damn good insight into where they're actually going to close for the weekend on spot price action. And right now we're not really getting too much from this. Obviously, it's still another 2 days of trading away, but there are a few interesting things going on here. If we could close above the 21, which is 8160-ish region, that's going to start to look pretty good. We'd see the weekly take out the exponential to the upside for the first time in a long time, and this would actually start to really look like a falling channel that's being resolved to the upside as well. But it's got a lot of work to do here. So again, I'm really getting ahead of myself. I just want to show the confluences all around the way for the good old cryptoscape, and then go from there. Anyways, what else do we want to look at? Oh yes, I want to look at gold for a second. So gold hit our target to the upside and then perfectly moved down. Again, I didn't really have a target to the downside, or actually I probably said 1550. We got down a little bit lower than that, 1540, but this is looking like, this is a climax here by definition. Massive volume spike on a high, and then continuation of the downside. I do think that is probably going to bounce within this region a little bit, but ultimately likely to come back down lower. Very, very ugly weekly on gold right now, but it's still a little bit early to really be judging this one as well, as we still got another day of trading tomorrow, Friday, left in the week. But as it stands right now, this is looking, again, I'm not saying these things to like toot my own horn, but hit our target and then major move down. This is why I go level by level at this point in Bitcoin land, and I'll do it in Forex and commodity land as well, just because there's a lot of we're still in an overall downtrend. Now on gold, not necessarily the truth though. Gold is in an uptrend on all time frames, actually up to a monthly. So monthly still looks okay, but our other time frames not so hot. Okay, all right. What else do we want to talk about? Let's go check out the Bitcoin VWAP ratio. So I really want to speak about this for a second here. I've been harping on this for a very long time, for like the last, 4 or 5 months now. And and I'm not going to go through the full explanation on this video because it's in the last, long-term analysis video that I uploaded on Sunday. But if you want the full explanation, definitely go check out that video there. What I want to highlight here is that we actually see the blue. We actually see the blue getting back above all the other moving averages on the VWAP ratio, which it doesn't necessarily do everything on its own, but it does. You have to get one foot started before the other. Of course. Hey, stop that over there. Stop it with your silly notifications. I don't need you. Sorry. Anyways, the fuck's going on over there? There we go. Jesus Christ, man. Too many. Okay, enough. Computer, stop. So yeah, we do have a little bit of a change of behavior over here. So this actually would be more on the bullish side, to be fair. But again, it doesn't get the job done. And historically speaking, anytime that we've seen that prior signal of getting the purple below the pink, that's been your 70% or more correction in Bitcoin. Just a pullback, bro. Anyways, now what I want to do is is something that I don't typically do. Actually, have I said everything that I want to say about Bitcoin yet? We can actually briefly go over this once again. Another big thing, kind of more on the bearish side, is looking at the greater picture like this. We had a very, 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 very similar signature to all the major moving averages over here, as we see over here, and many other times in Bitcoin's history. But I'm just going to highlight this one because it was just easier to look at right now. You can see that Bitcoin basically puts in a top around the 200 simple right here. Same thing right around here. Bitcoin gets a death cross between the green and the purple, 50 and 200. Bitcoin gets all lower periods below higher periods right here. Same thing right here. Death cross, all lower periods below higher periods right here. And then Bitcoin's trending below all major moving averages as long as we are below the yellow 21 exponential moving average. Once we regain it over here, massive move to the upside. Well, same thing right on over here. Bitcoin's trending to the downside. We regain the 21 right here. Boom, massive move to the upside. And as you can see, Bitcoin at this point in time was actually holding, or I guess I already have it in there, this long-term downtrend coming in all the way from January of that year. And where do we put in our high end? Right around there, which was pretty much synonymous with the 200 simple moving average right here. And these things don't need to be exact. They don't need to be exact at all, but or they need to be kind of similar. You're looking for a standardized way of looking at price action over time. That's what moving averages can do for you. That's what they can do for you. Jesus Christ. But you do see we kind of have the same thing over here. Long-term downtrend, 200 simple right here. And we are, in the midst of a rally. So is it likely that Bitcoin, does put in a high somewhere right around here, which is also 302 Fibonacci retracement, by the way, which is also within the overall context of this downtrend, which is also well below all major moving averages? Well, kind of yes. So Bitcoin to turn around to being bullish does still need to prove itself more than any. It needs to prove itself first more than anything else. So fair enough. Just want to show that it still has a lot of things kind of work its way through. I'd imagine that the volume profile is most likely showing some sort of activity within this region. Indeed, we got rejected right at the point of control, or penis of Christian. If you are a longtime cave dweller, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And, it would make sense that we actually do come back down here. So I want to represent both sides well. I don't want to get caught on either team right now. I don't want to have any position right now. Now, I would say that the obvious time when Bitcoin gets bullish back again to the upside and becomes like a threat towards, breaking out to, the upper 8,000s, lower 9,000s, is if we can get, well, let's maybe go to a 12-hour. We could do this maybe on a 6-hour, perhaps. We could do this on a 4-hour, actually. Yeah, any sort of a 4-hour total close, especially above like 8,400-ish region. And yes, I would look for that. So if Bitcoin did get reaccumulated here, or even as low as like 7,750, and then flips back around and we get some 4-hour total close above that region, I actually would be looking for that big explosion to the upside. But until that happens, here's where things get a little more nasty. So let's go look around. Let's go peruse the general crypto sphere and see what the other top altcoins, beautiful altcoins, are suggesting about Bitcoin price action. And we do see Mr. Buterol. Also getting rejected by the same sort of, not even actually testing the top side of the, of our long-term downtrend. But what do we have on over here? Is this just another continuation of trend? Is this just another lower high, bro? Is this just the end of Buterol? Well, looks pretty shitty, man. Hidden bearish divergence present on the daily. Top technically is confirmed here. We are getting rejected by the 55 as well. Any sort of a daily total close below 136 region, and I'd be looking for a return all the way back down here to 127.5 and probably lower over time. Looking at the weekly, looks like another rejection of the 10 simple. I mean, it's gaining strength to the downside, by the way. All lower periods are below higher periods on a weekly, and the 10 simple is getting actually divergence away from the 21 and providing our last little impetus for rejection right there. Let's go check out Mrs. Litecoin. So that would be more on the bear side, of course. Mrs. Litecoin, same thing. Same thing here on the weekly. What about on daily? Daily point of no, I shouldn't say no return, but point of big massive problems down below about 43 and 43 and a half. It looks like we actually did a hit our I said $49 the upside. We got 48 and a half. Not bad though. Not bad. Somewhere around here is where I was calling a top, or up to here. It looks like it's going off of my trend lines there. But same thing, getting rejected from the top side of this long-term descending trend line. Not necessarily the best look right now. What else do we have? What about Ripple Me Nipples? This one really looks nasty, actually. This one looks like a confirmed high right here, which means that we once again have major hidden bearish divergence between this point and this point even. If I'm just looking at Ripple, I do think that it comes back down to like 19 and a half cents region. What about EOS? Does EOS look the same? Yep, still same problems right here. Point of major issues, 266, and it's not looking too hot right now. We're even going to see momentum oscillator start to curl down on the daily. What about NEO? NEO, same thing. Point of major areas is about 915. Tron, what's Tron Cash doing? Same thing. 136. Bcash, what are we doing over here? Bcash actually holding up a little bit better than the other ones, as much as people don't like this one, but hey, fair enough. 228.5, big area. Zcash, what do we have? Oh, Jesus. All right, so we're just going to pretend that one didn't happen. BNB, shitty as well. And GBDC, we've already seen, has a massive bearish engulfing dildo. So we are at the precipice of a major inflection point on the market. Question is, do we move a little bit lower and then reaccumulate, maybe around 77.50, or is this in big, deep trouble? I'm sure that people are going to be referencing the CME gap at, 76.50? 76.50. I don't think that area is all that relevant. We'd probably bounce there a little bit on the lower term time frames, but if we come back down to that region, I think that we're very, very likely going lower overall. And CME momentum oscillators. The more and more that I look around, the less and less okay it looks. But I'd still be going off the 2-day here. I do think that most of the time frames are going to be a distraction. The problem is we don't close the 2-day until tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So a 2-day close anywhere above like 7,800, I think would look okay-ish. Anywhere above 8,000 would look actually pretty damn good. But any close, 77.50 or lower on 2-day would start to look pretty nasty. So I'd still be going off of that. I would be a little bit forgiving in the lower term time frame, just because we did have a pretty explosive move to the upside. So to kind of wrap up my thoughts here, actually before we do that, let's go over the forexes and the traditional bullish as fuck. As we've been saying, bullish as fuck markets get bullish as continue to get more bullish as fuck, typically speaking. Weekly, about a day off closing, we took out last week's high on a Doji Dildo. Still looks fine to me. Weekly RSI, fine. If tomorrow's close is anywhere above, let's call it 324 or 324.5, maybe we pull back a little bit into next week, but overall I'd still be bullish on it. I'm sure that people are talking about bearish divergence here on a 4-hour, but it's fucking 4-hour, and higher time frames still look more or less healthy to me. I don't really have any reason to be even short-term bearish on this until we break below 320.5. And once again, we've walked up like the point of earliest failure once again. Another buck and a half. So 320.5 is that first warning signal. Below 317.5 is a little bit of issues, but the big area is actually still 315, which is going to be, well, actually, we could maybe even move that up as well, but I'd still stick with 315 right around here. It does look like a nice inflection point on the market for calling like an actual top on this. So yeah, for now we're still seeing, a bullish traditional market, and likely coming off the sentiments that, the Iran and American potential war is getting de-escalated, which it's almost as if it's a game. It's crazy. Anyways, let's go check out dollar yen. What do we see over here? Dollar yen is bullish on the lower term timeframes. I'd be looking for whoa, holy shit, what a move. So I did say that we were likely to test back up yesterday. I think, okay, so when I said a bounce yesterday, I was actually still looking at this as more long-term bearish. I'm not sure if I still believe that. This bounce is not looking like just a bounce, bro. It's looking like a potential reversal. Any sort of a daily to close above 109.7, which is where we're kind of looking towards, and not extend that target all the way up here towards like maybe 111, a little bit more longer term. Looks good, actually. Pound yen, what do we see here? Looks to me like it wants to pop back up to 144, test around there. If we can actually get daily to close above there, this starts to look a lot more long-term bullish if that happens. But still a lot of work to do here. We're right at resistance, so it's not time to party just yet. Any sort of a close on a daily total time frame below 141.3, and I'd look for this to come back down probably to the 200 simple longer term. So I suppose I could still maintain my overall bearishness on that until it doesn't make that until it doesn't make that move. But fair enough. It does look like it kind of wants to turn around there. What else do we have? I think that's about it. Or sorry, where's my euro dollar? There we go. 111. Dollar is too strong right now, man. Dollar is too strong. Yep, and this is confirmed as a local high, another lower high, and the downtrend resumes. I suppose I could still make an argument for it on the monthly. We haven't really taken out this month's or this month's 111, but it's not looking good here. Dollar strong right now. Then again, You know what? Maybe I do take this back. We do have potential hidden bullish divergence in play here, but any sort of a move back down below 110 spot 8, and we got and this one has problems. So I suppose short term, you know, I would be looking for another bounce here. It is in play. It is actually in play. But those are the two. That's kind of like the line in the sand, I suppose. I feel like this video today hasn't been all that helpful, but sometimes that's just how I feel sometimes, man. I'm not gonna like make up, signals and shit, just to like, make a video. Anyways, okay, yeah. So to wrap up Bitcoin right here, I would still say the most important things right now is the next 2-day close. If we close above 8,000, especially, I would remain like short, I'd get short-term, medium-term bullish on Bitcoin for a retest back up to the mid 8,000s, like 85, 8,600, very, very likely after that. And that's when this actually looks like it is going to be a reversal, and we do test much higher. But for right now, there is pressure on the lower term timeframes. I do think that it's likely we get another push down to maybe like 7750-ish region. That's kind of the line in the sand for the medium and lower term timeframes for me. If Bitcoin does start closing medium or lower term timeframes below 7750 region, I would be looking for this to come much further south, down towards, at the very least 7500, most likely 75, 7600 in this region, probably a small bounce there, and then this is just going to look like another macro lower high, and we probably have play at a small bounce or something like that, but ultimately move on lower. So yeah, for right now, I probably would be looking for a bounce at 7750-ish region, maybe 7800, something like that. Probably does get another push down, and then if the bounce gets faded, if the bounce fails, then that's problem city. If the bounce gets back above 8,000, that will be a good initial sign. But realistically, what we have to keep the eyes on right now is this last prior high right around 8350-ish region. So right now is kind of the time to kind of sit back. If you had a good last week and a half, sit back and enjoy it, man, and wait for the next like obvious signal. I think, not that this is a signals channel, but the obvious signal from from whatever edge that you're using. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today. As always, this is never financial advice. I'm just sharing my stupid opinion on the internet, which you shouldn't care anything about. And with that said, I'll be back on Twitch live stream later, and I think by then we should probably have a little bit more of the lower term timeframes resolved, so we can actually add a little bit more onto it. But with that said, I'm wishing you well as always from a very early morning over here in Helsinki, Finland. Take care, and until next time.